Hi, this is my review on Shaun of the Dead. Peg as Shaun, the hopeless assistant of an electrical store who shares a house with Ed, Nick Frost, his dodgy slacker mate, in London's Crouch End, A. His girlfriend Liz Kate Ashfield has just chucked him when an unexplained plague hits Britain and the streets are filled with vicious, flesh-eating zombies. So Shaun makes a desperate bid to save Liz from their clutches and win her heart again. The spoof genre is usually so tricky, but this brings it off. It's spirited, good-natured, likable and funny, with great support from Penelope Wilton and Bill Nye as Shaun's mum and stepdad. If it sometimes looks like a feature-length episode of Spaced, well, that's a good thing. Shaun of the Dead is a spoof, but at the same time, it's a semi-serious horror movie. It's also an homage to George Romero's Dead series, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and a societal commentary. Admittedly, with so many choices on the menu, director Edgar Wright cooks some of them better than others. But the bottom line is simple. Shaun of the Dead may not be consistently scary, in fact, it's almost never scary, but it is consistently funny, if you have a slightly warped sense of humor, and never loses its audience. Perhaps the best way to describe the film's comedy is to call it British humor. Don't expect a gag-a-minute affair like Scary Movie, or a TV sitcom. Dawn of the Dead used the zombies as metaphors for consumers. In Shaun of the Dead, the shuffling, slack-jawed creatures are stand-ins for those of us who have become so desensitized to life that we're existing in a vacuum of routine. In terms of character arc, Shaun of the Dead is about Shaun's freeing himself from the cycle. Of course, it takes a zombie invasion for this to happen. If the dead had stayed in their graves, he would still be playing video games with Ed and bemoaning Liz's defection to a more energetic lifestyle. Shaun of the Dead is one of the most successful contemporary British comedies and a film that perfectly encapsulates ideas of post-modern generic hybridity. It rode the wave of a new cycle of zombie films which arguably started with Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later, UK 2002. Shaun of the Dead is the first cinematic outing for Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, all of whom have, to varying degrees, forged successful cinematic careers. The film is also the first in what is known informally as the Cornetto Trilogy, contemporary set, UK-based comedies directed by Wright and featuring the central character pairing of Pegg and Frost.